So what does an herbalist do when they hurt their back? Well, I got to find that out last week. And I'll tell you the things that I did, and maybe they would help you too. So last week I was rearranging my home office a little bit, and I went to pick up a really small, what I thought was very light box, and I did not lift it with my legs. We'll put it that way. Yeah, total derp moment. The box actually wasn't that heavy, but it was heavier than I expected. And immediately I felt that twinge and pull and pain in the small of my back. So bad that I laid on the floor for a while afterwards and I didn't know how I was going to get up. So the very first thing is I needed to find out, was I hurt or was I injured? And those are two different things. And this is something that a doctor can help you evaluate. If you are injured, that is something like a slipped disc. It is a serious sprain. Like those are injuries, right? If you're hurt, that's more like a muscle pull, like just a light strain in the muscles, things like that. And so that was the first thing I checked out. And fortunately, I was just hurt. Wasn't pleasant, but I was just dealing with a strain. So now that I know I have strained muscles in my back and I can feel it, it's really tight, it hurts, I can't bend over, I couldn't even put my own shoes on, I was having muscle spasms. So what do I need to do? So first thing after that is ice. I put ice on my back to try to lower that inflammation as quickly as I could. The next thing that I did was I started to take a tincture to lower the inflammation. And the tincture did have some pain reliever in it, had some white willow bark in it, had a little wild lettuce in it as well to relax the muscles. But it also had a lot of anti-inflammatories like tart cherry, ginger, turmeric, and also some passion flower, which helps decrease the anxiety and stress you're feeling from pain. So I took the tincture to get that working as well to lower that inflammation. I did rest the muscles. That does not mean that I immobilized my muscles because that can cause them to really stiffen and actually cause the muscles to cramp even worse. So I wanted to do very slow, very gentle stretches. And I also wanted to start using a red light therapy mat as well, using that on my back to, again, attack that inflammation and help me stretch. So I usually did my stretches while laying on the red light therapy mat. While I was doing all of this, I made an appointment with my chiropractor. I didn't think my back was out of alignment, but chiropractors can do things other than just alignment. And in this case, they put a muscle stimulator on my back. They did some cupping. They did a little bit of manipulation, and they did some massage. And all of that helped really loosen things up. And I could feel it almost immediately that I was able to get a better range of motion, not so much cramping, and my stretches were going much better. To deal with the pain through all of this, I turned to California poppy, and I did brew that in pretty stiff tea to take. California poppy is not an opioid. It's not what we think of as like, those kind of poppies. But it does have some of the effects such as pain relief and also muscle relaxants in them. It's a step up from what I usually use, but I knew I needed to be pretty aggressive with this and to be pretty aggressive right at the beginning so that I could get good sleep, which would help me manage pain, which would help me recover earlier. One word of caution about using California poppy, although it's not an opioid, it can trigger a false positive on a drug test. So if you are someone that has to do like DOT testing or drug testing in your workforce or that type of thing, California poppy is probably not for you. But for most anyone else, it's generally safe and very well tolerated as long as you're not on other types of medication that can cause drowsiness. So all in all, after, 2-3 days, I was feeling pretty good. And by a week's end, I was doing really good. Being aggressive right at the beginning, really working on that inflammation through the tincture, through the red light therapy, hitting the chiropractor. I'm really taking a multimodal approach to this, managing the pain, getting a little bit of a muscle relaxant into me, through some herbally goodness. Doing all of that really made a difference to the point where a week after this happened, it's like it didn't happen at all. And I was starting from a stronger baseline. I have been in the gym. I've been, strengthening my core. I have been doing stretches, each morning. So I started with a higher baseline, but once I had that strain, I really attacked it aggressively. Used all of the tools I could. And I hope that helps you the next time you feel that twinge of, when you strain something. Maybe you can try some of these approaches and get back on your feet, or back to dancing, or back to lifting boxes the right way. Again,